Okay, so this is video 2. All right, so I want you guys to start with question number 3. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. I want you guys to read what are the coordinates of x prime, y prime, and z prime. Okay, once you read that, you should have identified that the important information in problem number 3 is this, scale factor of 1.5. Go ahead, label your problem number 3. And I want you to write that the scale factor is 1.5 because you know that's important information. Now, we know that it might be easier to work with a fraction. So 1.5, what do we know is equivalent to 1.5? What fraction? If you said 3/2, that is correct. All right, right now, I want you to label the pre-image, x, y, z, with the coordinates that you see in this graph. And I want you to set up your paper just like this, just like we've been doing this entire time. All right, so in 1 second, I'll have you pause the video, and I want you to set up your paper just like this, and then tell me what is the value of x based on the graph, what is the value of y based on the graph, and what is the value of z based on the graph. Go ahead and pause the video and do that right now. Okay, once you've done that, you should have gotten x is -4, 2, y is 6, 0, and z is -2, -4. Okay, so once you have that, we now need to figure out how to get x prime, y prime, and z prime from these numbers. Okay, so we know that the scale factor is 3/2. Do you think this image is going to get bigger or smaller based on this number 3/2? All right, if you said bigger, that is correct because this is larger than 1. 1.5 is larger than 1. Now you know we need to take each of these values and multiply it by the scale factor. So let's start with our first number. We have -4, and we're going to multiply it by 3/2. In order to multiply -4 by 3/2, we're going to turn -4 into a fraction. We multiply fractions straight across, so -4 times 3 equals -12, and 1 times 2 equals 2. If you simplify this fraction, -12/2, well, that should equal -6, all right? So -4 times 3/2 equals -6. Now, I want you to figure out where else you see -4 and where else you could put -6. So go ahead and pause the video. All right, once you did that, you should figure out that if -4 times 3/2 equals -6, then this -4 times 3/2 should also equal -6. All right, once we're done with that, we're going to take our next number, 2 times 3/2, and figure out what it equals. So I have 2 times 3/2, and that equals what? Well, again, I'm going to put this over 1 and multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And go ahead and tell me what this equals. Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we know 2 times 3/2 has to be 3. We have 3 more numbers to do, but I want you to pause the video and see if you can figure out 6, 0, and -2, what the new values will be if you multiply each of these by 3/2. Okay, and to double check your answers, I'm going to do this really quick, but you should have already tried this yourself. Let's do 6 real quick. 6 times 3/2. I'm going to put 6/1. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. And 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we know 6 times 3/2. 6 times 3/2 is 9. For 0, this is what you should have gotten. I know I have 0 times 3/2. And I could do all of this, but I also know that 0 times anything will always equal 0. So 0 times 3 over 2 is 0. And then lastly, my -2 value. Let's just make sure that you did it correctly. -2 times 3 over 2. Just like before, we're going to put the first value over 1. -2 times 3 is -6. 1 times 2 is 2. And -6 divided by 2 is -3. Your last value should be -2 times 3 over 2 is -3. Okay, so make sure you have that. Now, if you could do number 3, I want you to try number 9 by yourself. So go ahead on your paper. I want you to put number 9. And just like number 3, I want you to set it up. X, Y, Z, X prime, Y prime, Z prime. And tell me how I got from my pre-image to my new image. Good luck.